Hi everyone, I'm Emerald Mosaic and I'm back with another video. Um, just a reminder that my purpose of these videos is to inspire people and maybe show you a way of living and being that will make your life better. Um, the only names that have not been changed really is my late wife, Natalie, who I talk about periodically. And I'll tell you more of her story later. So I was thinking today that part of my life purpose, aside from the whole inspiring thing, is to speak words of kindness and compassion, um, acceptance and understanding to people who probably haven't heard much of that, if at all, in their lives. And I am blessed that I get to be part of lives of a lot of people who desperately need that. Um, Sometimes it's in person, sometimes it's people I'm really close to. Sometimes it's complete strangers on the web forums that I'm on. And I always just kind of get a little thrill out of speaking those words to somebody and letting them experience some of the love that I received in my life. I was thinking about how I think it was when I don't know, maybe as a teenager, somewhere around early teens, mid teens, that people started telling me that I was an encourager and that I was really good at encouraging people. And, we left Pennsylvania when um, I had just finished seventh grade. And so going into eighth grade, and I was 12 going on 13 when we left. And we were in Mexico close to 3 years. And during that time, I was learning Spanish, and um, the first couple months I walked around with pen, paper, and dictionary in hand, and was constantly looking up words and trying to comprehend things, and also trying to understand a brand new culture that I'd never been in before, and I didn't understand for a while. But and as much as I loved it there, I did fall in love with it. But the U.S. has always been my home, and I knew that I could not stay there. But I'll get into a little bit more of that later. But I was thinking about how there were so many people there who needed encouragement, who needed to be shown love, that who needed to be shown acceptance regardless of their spirituality, and who needed to be shown compassion regardless of what kind of sin they were caught in, if you want to call it that, whatever kind of vices had a grip on them that they couldn't break free of, to show them love and compassion and understanding, to say, I accept you as you are, and I'm not going to make you change just to love you. I love you as you are. That means a lot to people. And Christianity is supposed to be like that. And that's how I tried to live out mine back when I was a Christian. That's how I tried to live out my life, is to love people no matter what. You know, it's not my place to judge. I mean, I can tell somebody that a choice that they're making is hurting other people and probably hurting themselves too. And I'd love to help them get out of that and to maybe make choices that are better for everybody involved. But you don't do that by browbeating people. That just makes people get their back up and say, well, I'm okay. I don't need you. I don't need anybody to tell me what to do and how to be. No, people just want to be loved. And when you love someone, you get the opportunity to lead by example. You get the opportunity, once you've shown love, then you have the opportunity to tell them that there's a better way to live. But until you show them unconditional love and compassion and understanding, you don't have the right to say a damn word. And I know there have been times in my life when I did not act with love and compassion first. And I regret those times. And I know there's still times when I fumble and, you know, I have borderline personality disorder. And my wounds, well, sometimes I have distorted thoughts and I have feelings that aren't accurate, and they're real and they're validated, they are valid, but their feelings are just information. Feelings are not facts. They could be, but they aren't necessarily. We have to check the thoughts that are behind those feelings in order to find out what the facts are. And if our emotions are based on incorrect facts, well, you know what? It's time to fix our facts. Kind of reminds me of a joke. So funny for you. So there was a police investigation going on in this office building. And this was back in like the 80s, the fax machine was kind of new, right? And so there had been some paperwork that had come in via the fax machine that the police needed. And so, and the secretary was like, okay, well, I got that. Do you also want these other files? And the investigator goes, just the facts, ma'am, just the facts. Sorry, I couldn't resist. I hope you got a chuckle out of that. It always makes me chuckle. But anyways, back to what I was saying. We have to check our own thoughts. We have to check our own patterns of behavior and our own motives. And, a lot of what motivates us is fear. One of my big ones is a fear of abandonment. And that really drives a lot of my thoughts and behaviors. And I don't like it. And I'm working on trusting more and working on, believing that the people who are in my life are going to stay there, because they do love me. They do care for me. Things like that. We all have, there's so many false beliefs and so many distortions that enter our minds, and it can be really hard to see them. And that's where we need a friend. And that's where we need to be a friend for other people. And gently and kindly say, hey, I can see that you're behaving in this way. And I kind of wonder, if it was me, I might have this belief behind that. Is that what you're feeling? Is that what you're thinking? Is that what thoughts are going through your head? And if so, maybe you could think about it this other way. Offer things gently. I really try hard not to browbeat people. And I know sometimes I get on my high horse and I start ranting and raving about, this group of people and how wrong they are and how awful they are. And I forget to offer compassion. That's what this world needs a lot more of, is compassion. Compassion is not just about forgiveness. Compassion, I like to think of it as understanding why somebody acts the way they do. And because you have the understanding, you accept the person. You don't have to accept the behavior, but you accept the person. And, like I always tried to tell my son that, I might not like his behavior, but I still love him. And, ever since my son was a baby, he's 12 now, every single day for many, many years, and now I still do it often, I tell him, always and forever, no matter what, I love you. And it's so funny now, every now and then I'll be like, hey, guess what? Always and forever. And he'll go, I know, Mom, no matter what, you love me. It's funny how he does that, but he knows that I love him without reservation. That yes, I know he's going to make mistakes. I know he's going to screw up royally. It's okay. It's a learning experience. And if he hurts people along the way, well, that's where he can learn how to apologize. And, a good apology is not just saying you're sorry. A really good apology is saying, I hurt you and I don't want to hurt you. And I see that when I did or said this, it hurt you because of XYZ. And since my goal is to not hurt you and instead to show you love, I want to sincerely apologize, and I'm going to change my behavior by doing or saying this instead. And also, what can I do to make it up for you? What can I do to help you get past this and to make the hurt less? And, in the future, this is what I would like to do. Would that work if I did this instead of what I did? That is a sincere apology. That bridges a gap. It puts the focus on the other person. See, one thing that I had trouble learning, and it was just a couple of years ago that finally sunk in. Because anytime I did something wrong, I would feel so horrible about myself. And my self-esteem would just totally tank. And it was especially bad around PMS. But, I would get so caught up in what a horrible person I am that I would hurt somebody. And the last thing I want to do is hurt somebody. But all the focus was on me. I didn't understand how to get the focus on the other person. The way you do that is by doing this proper apology. Yes, I'm the one who hurt you. However, it hurt you because of this. I don't want to hurt you, and therefore I'm going to try to do this in the future so that I don't make that same mistake. And, what else can I do? I care about you and I want you to feel better. What else can I do to make it better and to restore our relationship? That's how you put the focus on the other person. That's a proper apology. And I've not perfected it yet, but I'm getting a whole lot better at it. Because the thing is, it doesn't matter with that type of apology, it doesn't matter if you're right or wrong. The whole point is that you hurt the other person. You might be the most correct person in the world, but if you caused hurt, then you're in the wrong. Because it might be the way that you went about being right, being correct. I know I've made that mistake a lot of times in my life of being so caught up in being correct, I forgot how to be kind. Being kind is a whole lot more important than being right. And that can be hard to remember too. But, in my home, one of my first rules in my home is that this is a home of love and grace. It means that I will love people as they are, and I will give them grace when they screw up, because they're going to. And you know what? That also means that I'm going to give myself grace when I screw up. And then the second one is that you always offer sympathy before you offer advice. Like when somebody complains about a coworker, instead of saying, well, have you tried doing this and this and this? You start off by saying, oh man, that sucks. If I was in that position, I would feel XYZ, and try to identify how they're feeling or how you think they're feeling, and check and see if your observation is correct. And once you've sympathized with them to the point where they're satisfied and have that comfort that they need, you always offer comfort and sympathy first, then offer advice. Because at that point, then they're ready for it. In fact, some people, they don't want advice. They're smart, they're intelligent, they know how to come up with solutions on their own, but everybody needs comfort. Everybody needs sympathy to know that, their feelings matter, regardless of their ability to solve the problem. They want to know that their feelings matter and their feelings are validated, and that somebody cares enough about them to offer comfort. Whether that be a hug or just, if it's online, it could be, oh man, that sucks. Man, that's terrible. Ask if they want advice. Hey, would you like an idea I have, or would you like a suggestion? If they say yes, then offer it humbly, And I think I've said this before, but if they do reject your suggestion, don't get all up in arms and, how ungrateful, blah, blah, blah. No. I mean, it helps, and I'm working on this. It helps if when somebody receives a suggestion that they know won't work or they've already tried, it helps to start off by saying, hey, I appreciate you're trying to help me. I have tried that, and unfortunately, this is how it panned out. Do you have any other ideas? Just acknowledge that this person is trying to help you. Give some gratitude and appreciation and all that before, saying why it won't work. I like to say you sandwich it, so you start off with, hey, I appreciate you're trying to help. This is why it doesn't work. But man, do you have any other suggestions? Because I could use some ideas. And that, when you sandwich it that way, it really softens the blow of your idea doesn't work. Because it's kind of a blow to the pride of, all my ideas get shut down. Well, I can't think of anything, so why should I ever offer any suggestions, But if people show that gratitude, well, then your pride isn't hurt so bad. Because it's like, okay, well, that was a good idea. This other person had the same idea. Great minds think alike. Too bad it didn't work. Let's brainstorm something else. There's so many gentler and kinder ways of saying and doing things. And there are so many people who are like, well, you shouldn't be such a snowflake, or, I don't sugarcoat anything. Well, you know what? You catch more flies with you catch more flies with honey than you do with vinegar. When you're sweet, when you're kind, when you're compassionate, when you show understanding and acceptance, people will listen to you. People will befriend you. People will be kind in return and compassionate in return. Or at least they're more likely to. Maybe we can spend this week showing a little bit more kindness to the world. And let your little light shine. Your tiny little light of compassion and kindness and love in a dark world. And let somebody know that their life matters. Because all lives matter. And so show the people around you how much they matter to you. Hope you have a great week.